Joe, you good?
I got it.
Ty, when you look at the film, you had time to deal with that today. What was the biggest takeaway that you can use for tomorrow?
I think the main thing, obviously, is we just turn the ball over a lot. If we can cut that down, get more shots on the rim, it'd probably change the trajectory of the game. Just some boneheaded plays for me down the stretch. So I'll fix that tomorrow.
How do you fix that? Not just you, but the whole team fixing those uncharacteristic things.
Yeah, I think just settling in. I think a lot of our turnovers were unforced, just our mistakes playing. I don't want to say too fast, but I think just like our decisions, we made quick decisions, and that's what we've done successful all year, and we're going to continue to do that. But I think there was just some incidents where just some miscommunications between guys and things like that, so we'll fix it.
I know you're always such a positive guy, but also sometimes your own worst critic. How do you balance those two and try to put that heartbreaker behind you and move forward?
Yeah, I think I was pissed yesterday, very frustrated at myself just because I felt like, I let that one get away. I feel like I was, a big reason for that getting away from us as a group. But I think what I've learned in, this playoff run is that you just got to move on. You know what I mean? The minute you start dwelling on things that have happened in the past, things can get bad. And we understand, we still have another game here. We could go back home with the series tied, and we like our chances at home, against anybody. So it's just, moving on and understanding that that's one game, and, you take the good with the good, the bad with the bad, and you move on.
What was the key to finding success in your offense against their defense, especially with the pick and roll? You guys were able to get to the rim a lot. But it also looked like they were trying to give that up rather than some threes to you guys.
Yeah, I think just random movement. That's an elite defensive team, one of the best defensive teams in the league. They do a great job of switching and staying in front of the ball. But teams that switch, the more random you play, the harder it is for you to be guarded. So we've had success offensively against everybody in the NBA. We're going to continue to do that. But we just got to keep playing random. I thought in the fourth quarter, my bad. Fourth quarter, it probably slowed down a little bit too much, not getting up and down. And we got to just continue to play with that pace for 48 minutes, and, good things usually happen.
What's it like having a former teammate on the other side, Oshae? I know he was saying leading up to the series, you and him were talking a lot coming into it. Do you talk to him during it? Which is just like having, a former teammate on the other side?
Yeah, it's cool. Obviously people know me and Oshae. It's like one of my best friends. But yeah, usually we get dinner or something before we play, but we're not doing that during this. There was just a lot of chit-chat between us the whole year, because I told him we were going to play in the Eastern Conference Finals all year, and he kind of laughed at me. So here we are. But, yeah, we don't really talk much during the games. I'm sure we'll have a lot of conversation after.
When you talk about moving on, you guys have moved on from some losses throughout the playoff run. Just what have you liked about the way you guys have responded after the big blowouts or some games that you thought you slipped away from you like that?
Well, I think that's what we do. I think that's part of who we are and our identity as a group. We do a really good job of moving on. When things don't go well. Where we can get better is moving on when things do go well. In this instance, obviously, I feel like that's one that got away from us, and you lose. And I feel like we've done a good job at responding all year. Even in that game, start down 12-0. In the third quarter, they got up like 10. We just kept responding, and they know we're not going anywhere. So, we got to continue to sustain playing the right way for 48 minutes.
By default in this series, you're guarding an all-star, fringe all-star, whatever. How did you feel like you did defensively, personally in that game, and as a team, how do you feel like you guys did?
Individually, I thought it was all right. There was some lapses with Drew in the post, or he had the backdoor cut when he was going for a screen. But I felt like I battled. I felt like us as a group, we just did a good job of showing our hands as much as we could and forcing tough shots. Like you said, they're all stars. That's a special group of guys. But as much as we can, we're just trying to force. They get to ISO jumpers a lot, and trying to force them in the in the 2-point area as much as we can. But and finish possessions. And I feel like last series has helped us. Be prepared for that, because we played the best rebounding team in the NBA. So as long as we can finish possessions, keep getting extra possessions offensively, we'll be fine.
You talked about not dwelling, but you've obviously adjusted well game to game. Basically, anytime you've said I'm going to get better tomorrow, you end up being better. How are you compartmentalizing so that you're taking the lessons and not making it, I guess, a problem for you mentally? What does that require to get both out of it?
Yeah, I think I think film study. And not getting too high, not getting too low. I think that's really the biggest thing for me. Like I think throughout the course of a series, you're gonna have good games, you're gonna have bad games. It helps that we're playing Jason, so Drew is here by default. So I'm watching film with him, literally every day. So that helps. But I think throughout this playoff run, I've had, some really good games, some, my worser games of the whole season, to be honest. And I think just understand that happens through the course of this. And win, lose, good game, bad game, they're all lessons. Like, it's my first playoff run. I'm learning a lot. And I think yesterday was honestly, like, it sucks that it happened, but it's good for me. It's good for me. It's something that, it's really one of the first playoff games that I really feel like, man, I fucked it up. Like it's on me. So, it's good to learn. I'm 24. I got a lot of time, but I'm trying to win right now. So I'm just trying to learn every day, learn from every game, and I feel like I'm going to do that.
You mentioned the runs to start the game and throughout there. There was runs both ways. That's playoff basketball. But short of coach having to burn a timeout, what can you do to kind of manage that and keep that crowd from getting so raucous?
Yeah. I think that for us, like, they shoot so many threes, they make so many threes. There's going to be a 6-0 run, a 9-0 run that's going to happen. But I think just still running on their makes is the biggest thing, honestly. Like, when you start to slow down, they're so elite, especially, D. White and Drew at the point of attack, when you're slowing down and they can angle you, send you where they want you to go. But the more you're flying up and down the floor, I think it's human nature when you make shots to, celebrate or kind of relax or whatever. So I think that they understand that, make or miss, we're coming right back at them. And I think that can kind of help settle us in.
You made a point of saying after Game 7 you guys are the best bench in the NBA. You talked about that all year, the importance of the depth, but obviously you guys have, I think, the bench has had more minutes, more points, more attempts, more rebounds than anybody else in the playoffs by a pretty long shot. What's been, beyond just the production you got out of those guys, and how important has that been for for starters in general, the fact that you guys have been able to stay fresh? What's been just the total cumulative effect of having a bench that you've relied on, Rick's been really willing to rely on in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's been great. We got a lot of great dudes on our bench. There's 6 or 7 guys on our bench that can really, help contribute, if we need be. And I think that's the great part about our team and the construction of our team is just that, if our starters are playing well, and our bench isn't, that's okay. If our bench isn't playing well and our start, or vice versa, whatever, I think that helps. But I think when we're both really clicking, we're a really tough team to beat because I think that we just got fresh guys in the game at all times. And I think that helps us play the way we want to play, which is, to wear on teams for 48 minutes, and it's a 7-game series. You feel me? So it's not about one game. Like even in the New York game, I remember I got a question after that game 1. Is it disappointing that you lost that game, even though they're playing so many minutes? It's like, no, because it's not a one-game thing. It's how can we wear on them throughout the course of a series. So, I think it's just a kudos to our group. Everybody staying prepared, staying ready, whatever need be. There's lineups sometimes. We had a lineup up there yesterday, me, TJ, and Andrew, all of our point guards on the floor at the same time. So, we have a lot of different lineups. We have a lot of different ways to attack. We play small ball, sometimes with Pascal and Obi in there at the 5. We play big sometimes with Pascal, Obi, and Miles. We can just mix it up and throw different looks at teams, so it helps a lot.
The All-NBA list comes out tonight. What would that mean to you to be included on that?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, we know the financial benefit for me, and I think it's just the fruits of my labor. Would be cool to see that appreciation shown in my game. But we're here in the playoffs, and honestly, if it happens, cool. If not, it is what it is. We move on, and I want to win. I've said that all year, so here we are.
The Celtics. The Celtics aren't a team that really forces a lot of turnovers defensively. It's all about staying solid, switching. How important is it for you guys to go deep into possessions? I'm not saying like slow down, but to have that ability to work it for a whole possession.
Yeah, I think it's important when we get to like the second or third action, because against anybody really, like I think what makes our offense so elite is we're not like a one-action team. Like there's a lot of teams in the NBA who they run one action, they pull it out, and they run the same action. You know what I mean? And I think what we do so well is we run an action, it's not there, we swing it through, get to a DHO or a blur screen, and it comes back, and we run 3 or 4 actions. That's what makes us so tough to guard. So I think the more that we can do that, the better. And like you said, Like I don't think they don't force a lot of turnovers, but they do a great job of staying in front, showing bodies. But I do feel like a lot of our turnovers were more on us than them. And when you watch the film, I think that a lot of people would agree with that. Like we had a lot of boneheaded, just passes out of bounds. I dribbled off my foot like 3 times. Just some things that we can correct, and we will going into tomorrow.
Tyrese, earlier in his coaching career, Rick called every offensive play from the bench. He's given you a lot more freedom. But what is his offensive influence on you and the way you directed offense?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that when I got traded here, just learning from him as much as I could, because that was like, kind of my first time of fully running everything. And we had play calls, but I didn't really know them. You know what I mean? Like I was kind of on the fly. Like me and Buddy were just passing the ball to each other, really. Like that was kind of the way that things were going. But I think just like kind of learning from him in what I was doing was really helping. Mike Weiner as well, because he ran the offense when I first got here. So being with those guys and picking their brain all the time really helped me. And just seeing like concepts and honestly coming from playing with Luke, who was a great offensive mind too. Just I loved what I always appreciate about Luke is he did a great job of putting wrinkles on his plays, and that was kind of like I kind of became like obsessed with that detail that he had. And then being here with Rick, like he does it, he kind of works the same way. Like we run the same set over and over, but we just might put a different wrinkle on it. So that's helped a lot. And then I think last year, just us having the whole year together, like halfway through the year, it was like he was never calling plays. And then to start last year, he was like, I don't want to call plays. I want you guys to fully run everything. And right there, that gave me like the utmost confidence, because it was like, if this guy trusts me to run an offense, then I mean, I know I can do it, So it's really helped, like being able to pick his mind all the time is like something that I don't take for granted. It's truly a blessing to be around a guy like that. And yeah, I think that just speaks to the success we're having offensively.